guys, and welcome to the Craft Beer channel. Despite our promises that this would not become a vlog, we're doing a lot of things that make it look suspiciously like one. So this is another beer log. We're kind of in a, what I would describe euphemistically as a mid-season break. We churned out all the amazing West Coast stuff, had some extra stuff coming off the back of that, and now we're looking for new ideas. We've got lots of cool stuff planned, but we haven't quite got round to it. And the stuff we have got round to, I've messed up. So we went to Hop City at the weekend, and to be honest, I had so much fun, I didn't actually do a video. We got as far as the intro. Hi guys, and welcome to the Craft Beer channel. Today I'm up in Leeds for only the second time in my life. And then after that, it all kind of fell apart. But what I did do is drink lots of amazing beer, one of which I brought home with me. So this was my beer of the festival, and conveniently I got handed a can. Verdant we featured in our video about the most exciting breweries of 2017. And this is by Verdant. So we were right on that count, and right on Dare as well. They had some beautiful, beautiful beers up at Hop City, which was basically an IPA festival in Leeds, if you didn't realise. So there were other half there. There was Alchemist, there was or whatever they're called. There was Stig Baguettes, lots of really hyped breweries, and I mean, this beer blew them all out of the water. It was just incredible. It's very, very recently canned, but that is just so much overripe mango. There's a little bit of savoury spiciness as well, which might come from the galaxy they've used. But today is not about Verdant. There's been a post going around all the beer vloggers, the vloggers, so I thought it would be a lot of fun to answer these questions. I don't quite know who set it up or who originated it, but we got tagged by All Things 501, which is a relatively new channel, a guy over in the Bay Area in San Francisco, where we just were, so we just missed him. But yeah, so I thought I'd answer these 9 questions. Sadly, Brad couldn't join us. I haven't seen much of Brad recently, which is another reason why not many videos have been coming out. But hopefully he'll do one as well, if he can bear to be on camera for 10 whole minutes. So I'm just going to go through them. If you have more questions that you want to know, just flag them up down below and I'll answer them. How do we get into beer, nerdery, geeking? Many of you may know the story, but me and Brad met when we were working for Jamie Oliver, and he started his FoodTube channel, must be 4 or 5 years ago now, and we saw what he was doing on there, and I mean it was awesome. It was the first properly professional food content that was going on there, and we saw the opportunity, and we didn't know much. Well, we knew a lot about food, but we certainly weren't chefs. But we knew a lot about beer, and me and Brad and Jim, who was at the channel right at the start, used to just keep ending up in the same pub, the Old Fountain in Old Street, talking about beer. And one day we said, why don't we combine the fact that we've got all this expertise at work and start making beer videos? Because everyone was sort of reviewing in their bedrooms and that sort of thing, and we thought we could do something a bit different. So that's how we got started into it, and we'd always been slight beer nerds, but we didn't know that much. So the first videos, if you look at them, I'm not going to link to them because they're appalling. My favourite beer is impossible to say. I think my favourite style is probably the double IPA, but I also have a deep, deep love for Creeks. In fact, any Belgian lambics. I think essentially I look for slight extremes, whereas Brad's more straight down the middle. He loves his hops, but he doesn't like it too bitter. He loves his Belgian beers, but he doesn't like it too sour. He's a session guy, which you can tell from the videos, because usually he's finishing his glass before I've finished sniffing mine. If I could have one beer forever, I mean, it would have to be a lager. If I'm being purely practical about it, if I have to drink the same thing again and again and again, that's what a lager's for. Lagers are supposed to be endlessly sessionable, endlessly drinkable, never cloying, never too bitter, never getting you too drunk. And there's 2 best lagers in the world, both from the Czech Republic. One is Pilsner Urquell, but if it was tank fresh, so if I was marooned on an island, I'd have to take a Pilsner Urquell tank with me. Or Kaut 12, which for my money is the best lager in the world run on form. I've heard it's got a little bit now, but at its best it's outrageous. It smells of strawberries and heaven, and tastes like, I mean, it's properly bitter. It's probably 40-50 IBU, golden pale, yeah, that kind of light strawberry and loads of malty, biscuity, moorishy goodness. Next question is, how can I drink so much? I had somebody come up to me at a festival once, and he showed me his Untapped and how many things he checked in, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But then he said, and now see this message from my girlfriend, and he showed me a text from his girlfriend that said, I've been watching your Untapped, I've seen all your check-ins, on a scale of 1 to Johnny from the Craft Beer channel, how drunk are you? Which means I think I get a reputation I don't particularly deserve. I try to stay within what I consider healthy limits. I take 2 days off every single week, and I also run and play football, and generally make sure I walk everywhere I can. Always walk up the escalators, never stand. The next question is, am I an alcoholic? Depends who you ask. I see alcoholism as reliance on alcohol, and that's not what I have. I mean, I do for my job. I literally rely on alcohol for employment. But if I have a day without beer, I'm not craving it. Have I taken that question too seriously? Next question is, what's my favourite ingredient? I'm assuming that's in beer. If we're talking of the 4 main ones, hops, yeast, malts, and water, it's got to be yeast. I love hops. Hops are the reason craft beer exists, because if we hadn't started growing Cascade and brewing with Cascade, I say we, I mean if Ken Grossman hadn't, we'd still be in the beery dark ages. But yeast, I guess I love an underdog, and yeast is the reason why your beer tastes like it does. It's why your Belgian beers taste Belgian-y. It's even like with the US 05s, it's still why your beer is clean and why you can actually taste the hops. It's such an important, underrated thing, and I'm always trying to teach people about yeast and its importance and the variations, because there's almost as many styles, or rather strains of yeast, as there are people on this earth, probably more. So the variation that's in there is always going to be more than there is variation in hops or water or malt. Seventh question is, do I brew? Absolutely. I brew probably once a month. I've got a grain father that makes everything so much easier than it used to be. I really recommend them. Or the Braumeister as well, of course, if you've got a bit more cash. They have revolutionised hobby brewing. They make it so much easier, and so I do it as much as I can. And I always try to develop new recipes. I'm not brewing clones. I'm not trying to recreate anything. I just want to have a little experiment, adding hops at different times, adding ingredients. So we've got some homebrew videos if you want to watch them. I'll stick one of them at the end of the video. What was my first beer? That would be Beer Door, which, if you're British, around about 30, and had a dad with no taste in beer, you'll know very well. It came in little stubby bottles, a bit like the brewski beers do now. Little green stubby bottles. It came from France. It's about 5%. Beer of gold, or golden beer is what it meant, and it was rubbish. We call it French piss in my parents' house. But a little part of me, whenever we go back and we have a barbecue or something, I'm always like, where's the French piss? Final question, who in beer do I look up to? So many people. I think in terms of people in the actual industry, I have huge respect for Colin Strong of Buxton. I think he brews some of the best, most varied beer in the world, let alone the country. I have huge respect for Paul at Cloudwater, who not only runs a brilliant business, Paul and James, who brew fantastic beer, very open source. They'll tell you whatever you want to know. They've got no secrets. They don't want to hide what they do from other brewers or anything. They just want everyone to drink good beer, and they do it in a very open and honest way. Having met Vinny at Russian River, huge respect for him now. Everyone said he was a lovely guy, and you just can't put into words how nice he is, how helpful he is, and how, you know, he's a guy who could just be aloof and still sell the amount of beer. He could be a real dick about everything and would still be hugely successful. But he's not. He's just the nicest, friendliest guy. I mean, there's too many to mention, but I guess in terms of beer journalists at the moment, I absolutely love Jeff Allworth, who runs the Beervana blog. I think he's fantastic. Brian Roth, who writes for Good Beer Hunting. Michael Kaiser, of course, is amazing, the guy that runs that company. But I've got to say, the guy I most look up to, I don't even necessarily look up to him, because sometimes he's a spanner, but I look to him constantly, and that's Brad, because he keeps me grounded when I get very nerdy, and he's the reason why this channel is, well, we like to think, very, very approachable, and designs all the amazing stuff that you see that's flashing up, such as our ident, our banners, and of course he designed the book, which I've surreptitiously slipped behind me because our publisher said we needed to do more advertising, and that's about as corporate as I can really be, just shove them on the sofa. So he designed that, and I'm sure the writing's great, but really that design and the cover is what's making that book sell. So he's the guy I look to, and I wouldn't be doing what I do if he wasn't on board. So that's our 9 random FABQs. Thank you for watching. I hope the vloggy style of that really hit home, and I hope we all just start vlogging instead. I'll just do hauls from H&M and play games like how much does my girlfriend know about me. That's the way I really want this channel to go. So cheers for watching. Go find yourself some Verdant, and particularly some Verdant putty, and keep drinking. Any more questions, just pop them down below and I'll get right back to you. Cheers.